Vietnam, where even the STDs are airborne.
So many like the one thing that I saw, or the two most things that I saw in Fayetteville were railroad track crossings and strip clubs.
There was a disproportionate amount of strip clubs in Vietnam. Yeah. I remember, like, we thought we were going to one that was just a bar. Walk in and there's strippers, and we're like, what the fuck? I mean, they're not even good-looking strippers. Yeah. I mean, there's only a few good-looking strippers, and they're not anywhere near military posts.
Yeah.
They're all going to be, like, the big cities like Miami, LA, New York, Vegas.
I mean, strippers, they migrate, so.
They do. They're a bunch of migratory people.
Well, when all the 101st would come back to Fort Campbell, the strippers from Nashville
would drive out to the Cat.
Would drive out to Cat West or wherever. Well, there's only Cat West and Pink Lady.
Yeah, that one time me and Evan went. I know there was this one chick. She drove out from somewhere in, I think, Louisville. She would drive nightly because the soldiers came back in town.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
it's cash, man.
Yeah.
Get those grunts out there. Like, ooh.
See, if I told the wife this too, if I was a woman, I'm 99% sure I would have been a stripper.
Yeah.
You don't have to be good at dancing. The lights are dim, so it doesn't matter what the fuck you look like. The dudes are drunk.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna throw money at you.
Yeah. Here's a stripper story.
Turn the lights down low. That's what we should do.
We need a stripper story. Little button for.
What would we call that? Tales from the pole.
Oh, that's a good
one.
Tales from the pole.
Tales from the pole.
Well, here's the tale from the pole. I wasn't on the pole, but when I was stationed in Texas in Fort Hood, we would go out like every month, like a group of a whole bunch of crew chiefs would get together, and we go down to Austin and partake in the strip clubs. And I remember one night, it was me and my buddy Daryl, and nobody else wanted to go. So we're like, hey, you just want to stay in town here, And, the first thing you think of, you don't want to stay close to a small military town and go to those strip clubs. Cause
you're like, oh, it's going to be gross.
Yeah. But we were like, yeah, let's do it anyway. So we did. And in Texas, you can drink, like, hard liquor and stuff in the strip clubs. And if you're underage, they usually put like a neon colored t-shirt which says, minor or something. And this club did that. And me and my buddy Daryl went into the club, and just normal strippers or whatever. And we saw all the the young privates that just got there. They're in reception, haven't got to their first unit yet. They're all wearing their minor t-shirts. And a song comes on. We've been there for maybe like an hour or whatever. And then the song comes on, and the announcer's like, and now welcome to the stage, Annie. And this is like right after Mariah Carey did the NBA All-Star game in the Michael Jordan tailored jersey dress. Yeah. Well, Annie comes out on stage, and
was she wearing the same thing?
Yeah, but not the Bulls jersey, the North Carolina jersey.
Oh, okay.
She went and got a whole bunch of them tailored up or whatever. And she goes on stage, and I'm like, holy crap, that ass is fat. Exactly. She was thick. But
THICC, thick.
Yeah. Like that new Trump meme where he's like, whatever, I don't know, I'll put it up there.
Yeah.
But
bing.
Exactly. But she comes out, and she's dancing, but she's not like dancing like a normal stripper, She's just like dancing like she's having fun. I'm like, huh. Well, she gets done on stage and she's walking around, and I tell her to come over. She comes over, and it's the first time we had met. And we started talking, realized that she's not a stripper. She does modeling, but she's never stripped before. And her brother took her up here to
well, we were in Texas.
Yeah. No, her best friend, who was a stripper, brought her up, like, because they're from Austin, so they came up to Fort Hood away from everybody.
Oh, yeah, everyone she knew.
Yeah, so she could just try it or whatever.
Yeah, see if she likes it.
Yeah, so she did it, and she thought it was kind of fun or whatever. Well, right as she's like, her and her friend are just staying with me and Daryl like the whole night, and we're just having fun. And a large group of young soldiers come in.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah. Talk about like right out of AIT,
the high and tight, the BCGs.
And then
still wearing the marshmallow suit.
And then the miner shirts, you know. So
Yeah.
they all get like this big table, and they're all sitting down. And I'm like, hey, you should go dance for those kids. Go take their money. She's like, what?
And
I'm
that's
like,
when
yeah.
Derek knew he was going to be a great NCO.
Yeah.
Troop morale at the cost of their money.
Yeah. But I'm like, first, I didn't know that at first. I didn't tell her to go take the money at first.
Yeah.
That's right. Like she goes, I'm like, go give them a dance. So she goes over, she like dances. Like, it's funny. One song, right?
Yeah, $25.
They all want a dance from her, right?
Oh, shit.
Well, one song, she dances like 20 seconds on one dude, 20 seconds on another dude.
Money.
And they all paid her for a whole song. And she came back and told me, and she didn't know that's not how it goes. And I'm like, you need to go back there and keep dancing until they ain't got no money left.
Derek suddenly became a pimp.
Yeah.
I'm going to need about
Yeah.
giving him a wallet.
But yeah, she went over, she cleaned them out, she came back, she's like, oh, I feel bad. I'm like, don't. That's a lesson in life.
Lesson in life.
And
every young man will learn this lesson.
Yeah. And then she's like, well, what do strippers do, you know, whatever. So I'm like kind of like teaching her, like, oh, you should do that, or you should do this, you know. See that move right there?
Mm-hmm.
Strippers usually do that, you know.
Yeah.
It's the legs up and the wiggle.
Yeah.
The legs to get the butt
gyrating.
cheeks. And, She's like, oh, okay. But then the club starts to close, and I'm like, yeah, so can I give you my number? She's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, what? Oh, shit. So I was like scrambling
I need a pen.
For a pen and paper, and I couldn't find any. This bouncer gave it to me, and I wrote my number down. I gave it to her. Didn't expect anything, but then, like 2 days later,
hey, what's up, boy?
Yeah, and I went to work the next day. I'm like, hey, Daryl, guess who called me? He's like, shut the fuck up. So, that's my one.
Tales from the Pole.
That's one tale from
Tales
the pole.
of the Pole.
Tales from the Pole.
Tales from the Pole. Yeah.
Here's an actual tale from the pole, because we weren't really talking about poles in that last one.
Mm-hmm.
But
because I always rewarded strippers, because it's like inevitable when you have dudes and you go to different places. Like you end up at the club, it's weird. But I always rewarded the ones, like I would never pay for anything. But if a girl was athletic enough,
yes,
and she was doing like crazy tricks, I'd be like, that's $1. You earn that shit.
Exactly.
Because I would never pay these girls. I'd just be like, I jiggle my butt, give me $1. Like, fuck you, bitch. No, go do something cool.
Like the ones that know they're hot. You look at them like, ooh, look at that.
But then they can't dance.
But then no, all they do is like,
kind
of like walk around the pole. Like
they do the 50 Cent two-step.
Yeah, it's like I'm not paying you for that.
No,
not at all. But this one, funny enough that Annie from the last Annie from the last story. Well, we ended up dating, and she takes me to the main strip club that her best friend
is dancing at,
and we were just going there to watch, like, I think it was the Final Four, college basketball. And so we go there, and what's funny is when we walked in, I saw on one of the side stages a girl dancing on a pole with a hula hoop, and I was like, oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. Here's $1. I got your $1 for you.
I got you $1.
Oh God, that's great. But anyways, we walk in there after we walk past the stripper with the hula hoop, and he just walks right up into VIP, and I'm like, oh, well,
can I go? So
I walk with her, and we sit down, and then the manager comes and was like, oh, you guys didn't pay, get back down. She's like, oh, well, I'm used to going in VIP. So anyways, we go back down, and we sit like right in front of the main stage.
Center.
And you know how the strippers will rotate stages if there's multiple stages?
Multiple stages, yeah.
So Miss Hula Hoop had rotated to the main stage right in front of us. and we had ordered some food. You know, it's like appetizer spread or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
She starts hula hooping, and she gets a little bit too crazy, and it comes off of her head, and it flies, and it hits Annie right in the face.
Oh shit.
Knocks all the food and her drink into her lap. Oh,
Oh dang! I guess now she's gotta take her dress off.
no.
Oh,
She just like wiped it off, but then everything was free. Everything was comped because of that.
VIP room. What's up?
No, not the VIP,
Oh.
just all the food, and
Oh, okay.
we didn't.
Just
yeah,
the dinner.
food and drinks were comped, so that was interesting. It was funny because as she was dancing, I'm like, you know what? That'd be crazy if that thing, you know, like came flying off her hand or her head or whatever, and it hit somebody. And then right after I thought that, just
I guess I'll save my stripper tales for the next one.
yeah, I got a lot more.
I know. Unfortunately, I don't know if I should say unfortunately, but because it's not really like a proud part of my past, but
I
it's
think
undeniable.
all mine are funny because like there's a way to go to a strip. There's different ways to go to a strip club. There's the I'm going alone in
Oh
kind of
yeah, that's kind of creepy.
yeah.
That's so,
There's the old man going alone. That's really
that's
creepy.
super creepy.
There's the then there's the group. I always go.
I think going in a group is your best bet.
Yeah.
And also for you young Joes out there, don't wear jeans. So, okay, I guess we have to get into it now. My first girlfriend ended up stripping, and she used to tell me, she later would go on to do pornography, and she told me that don't wear jeans because when they grind on you, it's not comfortable. So they prefer, like,
Oh,
dress
that's funny.
pants or sweatpants. Like, a lot of people think sweatpants is, like, a dirty thing to wear to the strip club, but it feels good for them.
That's funny because the my first strip club, like when I was a young private in a flight company, I was like, you know, the different TDY trips. I'm like, there's no reason to go to a strip club and waste some money. I can go buy a porno or something,
Yeah.
jerk off, and I can actually get off or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And can't at a strip club.
It's illegal.
And I just didn't realize how much fun you could have with
Sure.
with a group of guys
Yeah.
until we were in El Paso. And we were in El Paso for the JTF 6 mission where you're helping
Mhm.
the Border Patrol and ICE and all that. And
Which is
is
very dear.
yeah, which is really funny. Like they're making a big deal about troops at the border now,
Yeah.
but,
But
we,
there've always been.
exactly
Yeah.
weird. But anyways, so we're in El Paso and we go to this. We hear about this place called Foxy's. And it's like full nude. Like you know how you usually go to a strip club, and like they'll have their little stripper outfits, and
Yeah.
then they'll strip full nude on the stage. Not Foxy's. Full nude
All the time.
all the time.
Hmm.
They have their little garter belts on to put
To
their
hold
money,
their money, yeah.
hold their money in.
Because you gotta have a place to store that cash.
So my first my first lap dance was a pilot paid for it,
Mm.
and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna have a good time, man." I'm like, "All right." Well, this chick grinded on my leg,
Mm-hmm.
and
She got a reaction.
yeah, well, until she got herself off, my leg was all like wet and stuff. I'm like,
That's the other thing my girlfriend told me is that, well, now we're just friends. Like, she's the only ex-girlfriend that I've ever stayed friends with. She told me, too, that, like, she used to get off on that. Like, certain guys she would get off on. And, like, that was, like, what most strippers do. They're just chicks who are super horny.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I remember seeing a waitress at a strip club once. Like there was a place where we always eat, and actually it was here in town, and she was a waitress there, and we'd always be like, man.
She looks familiar. Yeah, the whole...
Well, no. At first we're like, man, she is fine as hell. You know,
Mhm.
like, good God. Then we go to what was it? There was another place here. There was the Brass Stables. You don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
There used to be 3 in Clarksville. I think there was Cat West, Pink Lady, and the Brass Stables. And was it the Brass Stables? I don't know. Man, my head's so messed up. I don't know. Anyways,
It's not like it really matters.
Yeah.
There's a third location.
found out she was a stripper too. I'm like, what? It's like, Inception.
Wah, bum, 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 bum.
You know, what's funny is that chick that was grinding on me and stuff.
Mhm.
That was like my first lap dance.
Oh man.
And that experience at Foxy's kind of like set it off. Like, oh, strip club. Then I came to Tennessee and it kind of ruined it
Yeah.
because you gotta throw your you gotta ball your dollars up. And you gotta throw them at them.
That was like when we went to LA for those training. LA has like, they're pretty looking girls, but their strip clubs are so stupid. They have like a wall and a railing, and you're like 5 feet away from the stage.
Yeah,
So like, the girl doesn't dance up on you. You have to throw it.
it's the same done in Nashville now. Like when I first got to Tennessee, it wasn't like that. And then the new ordinance came through, and I was like, oh, this is so stupid. Takes the fun out of it.
It's not nearly as bad as like in Virginia. I remember they had bikini bars because they don't do strip clubs, so girls would never even show anything.
Yeah.
It's like, so why are you even going? You're just watching a girl take off layers of clothing and get down to a bikini.
Well, like I think in Nashville they also had the thing where they had to put little pasties on their nipples,
Yeah.
but they're like just covering the very tip of the nipple.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what point? I can see your whole titty and your
Yeah.
nip. Come on, really?
Yeah.
No, it's that one spot. It's that one spot underneath that. I need to see that.
See, this could be a whole other topic. Is like, I know there's a lot of women that are trying to say that they should be shirtless too. You know, I can understand the whole equality argument, but they have to understand too that if a woman walks around topless, they're gonna get a response from a man.
Oh yeah.
Like 9 times out of 10 is gonna be an uncontrollable response. So should we really subject ourselves to that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if you want to walk around topless, go for it. Don't get mad at me when I stare,
Exactly.
or don't get mad at me or don't get mad at a dude that walks up and says something inappropriate, or he's got a boner or something like.
I mean, look at that video that they did on purpose. They put her in the tight
Yeah.
leggings and the
It's
tight
like-
top.
It's like
And she-
dangling a piece of meat for a
Yeah.
bear or a wolf or
You're
whatever.
walking around Manhattan,
Yeah,
like
stupid.
that.
Mm-hmm. Stupid.
you're gonna get catcalled.
You're gonna get tased.
So yeah. I mean, I don't care. I mean, I'm not a boob guy.
Yeah, I'm much more. Fat bottom girls do make the world go round.
Yeah. So, but I mean, when they're a nice set, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, like,
I like
I'm not
those.
gonna deny. Sure,
Yeah.
I'll take a look at them.
Yeah. But
You know?
there's no reason to just flaunt it all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not all, you better be in a burqa, goddamn bitch, you know?
Oh, not yet. Oh, wouldn't that be so great?
What? No.
I don't want you looking at my wife. I'm gonna cover from head to toe, and then I can pretend to be a girl when we get invaded by the North Koreans/Chinese.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that the new,
Yeah, that was the new Red Dawn,
the new Red Dawn was, yeah.
which was a really good remake.
Yeah. I'll have to watch it again. I think I watched it once.
The only thing I didn't like was they made the older brother a Marine, but it made sense story-wise.
That was Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, it made sense story-wise to have the older brother be involved in the current conflict
Yeah.
since they were updating it for the times.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool because I know in the original he wasn't in the Marines, but it was very tastefully done too because like he was like, spoiler alert, they're using guerrilla warfare tactics that he learned
Yeah.
fighting the enemy, which is weird to think like if we were to war game that scenario, like we're actively in the Middle East, yet where the fuck are the rest of our forces at? They just let China and North Korea waltz right in,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like.
Yeah.
So like they did a pretty good job, I think, researching certain aspects of the film, but they didn't like figure out the rest.
Yeah.